All right, so we're back. We have our basic frame layout here, and now we're going to start putting text on your web page. So the first one you're going to learn is the paragraph tag, just a P. And that specifies that everything inside of here is going to be in a paragraph. So I can type whatever I want. Is a cool paragraph tag. Now the paragraph actually puts a break after the tag. So if I were to make another paragraph, isn't this great? You see that after the first paragraph, it puts a break and it makes a second paragraph. Now, usually on websites, you'll see a header at the top. So inside of our header tag, again, these are mainly just to specify sections. So in our header, there's a tag called H1. And this is the largest size of heading. So I can type my web page. And you see it's much larger than the paragraph. Similarly, it makes a break when it's done. There's also H2. And this goes all the way down to H6. I won't type them all out. I think you get the point. But you can see H1 is bigger than H2, which is much bigger than H6. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So inside your text, such as the paragraphs, sometimes you might want to bold, underline, italicize, all these things. Well, there's a tag for it. Start with a paragraph, and I want to italicize. So this is how. And inside of your paragraph tag, you can put an italicized tag. You italicize, if I wrote that correctly. However, there's another way to italicize, but you can use EM, this. So as you can see on the page, they look exactly the same. I for italicize, EM is emphasis. I recommend you use this when you want, say, a screen reader to put emphasis on the word that it's reading. This is more visual. This is actual emphasis. Very similar with the bold tags. So you can do bold. This is bold, or just a B tag. And then you can say, but strong, this is strong. So you have your open bold, your text, your close bold. Similarly, open strong, close strong. They look exactly the same. However, strong is more semantic. It has more meaning behind it. Bold is just visual. There's many more little styling tags. So I'm just going to blow through them. If you have questions, let me know. But I think you can see that when anything inside these two tags is going to have that style. So there is mark, open and close mark. That'll highlight some text. Highlight. Another one is DEL, stands for deleted. That's your strike through. So if you ever want to cross out some text and then put more in and let your viewers know that this was here, use that tag. Next up, insert, INS. That's an underline. So basically, if you did a strike through, you could do an underline after it to show what should be inserted into that text. Subscript and superscript. Sub. So if I wanted to do, say, H2O, you could do H sub 2 and then O. So similarly, superscript, you can do, say, x squared. So I think you can see that there's a paragraph, some text, and then superscript 2. If I space that out a little bit, it might help. The last one I have for you is small. This just makes the text smaller. This will be used in your footer usually for copyright or email or contact information, stuff that you want there, but it's not important if it's huge. So using all these, you actually have a decent basis for a web page. So I'm actually just going to close this out. Sorry, delete that. And I'll show you, you can do like H1, welcome, in your header. And then in your main, you can say, this is my web page. I hope you enjoy it. So you can see you got your heading, your text, and then maybe you have a subheader, so H2. You don't want it to be as big as the top one, but you still want it to stand out. So maybe an About Me section. I am an amateur web developer. And here's a quick use for some of those tags. Maybe in a couple years, I can take the delete tag, cross out amateur, and then I'll insert senior. There we go. It's kind of like a little correction, even though it's not true yet. But hopefully someday I'll get there. So that's it for the tags. But there's one more thing we need to talk about really quickly. So once again, I'm just going to take this out just so it makes it easier to see. I'm going to do a paragraph tag. In your text, you can't really specify more than one space. So if I write, this is how, and I write 5 spaces, 2 space. You can see that in the page, it does not make a difference. If I put more spaces, it doesn't do anything. So this is where it's called a non-breaking space character. You do ampersand, non-breaking space, colon. Now it actually adds another space. And if I repeat that, you can see that the spaces are increasing. There are a couple different sizes of these. I think it goes up to 4 spaces, but for now you can just worry about the one. Now, I'm just going to touch on these. So there are some special characters that you do need to use the ampersand for, and one of those is actually the ampersand. You see if I type it, it does appear, but that's kind of a bad thing to do. You don't want to leave it as just the ampersand. You have to do and amp. For the less than symbol, you have to do and less than, greater than. For the space we talked about is this character up here. A quotation mark, an apostrophe, a copyright symbol, and a registered trademark. Now there's definitely a lot more of these, but I just want to kind of introduce you into the idea of what they mean so that if you're ever looking at a page's source code, you can kind of know what they mean. A couple more things I just want to talk about really quickly. There's a special tag called HR. It's a horizontal rule. It just makes a line across the page. You do not need a close HR. You can see brackets will tell you it's red, something's wrong. You do not need it. Same thing for the break tag, BR. All that does is insert a line, kind of like hitting enter. You can do multiple of these. You can see that the text is getting lower and lower because I'm breaking over and over. Sometimes you'll need these just to separate text. I'll show you in the footer here, if we do small, say like mail@email.com. Say we wanted to do a copyright, and then we use that ampersand copy, which makes a symbol. You can see that they didn't make a new line. So what you can do is just do a break in between them, and there they go. But that's it for episode 2. I want you to kind of go crazy, make a bunch of headers, make a bunch of lines. It might not look pretty, but trust me, once you get the basics down, it'll really flow. So thanks for watching. If you have any more questions, just let me know. I'll try to answer them the best I can or make their own separate video. Thanks.